Yes, you're right. This is the network service of the NTA, and it is nationwide. You're welcome. My name is Ogochukwu Ona. We begin with President Bola Tinubu's inauguration of a high-powered committee to address issues relating to farmer-herder clashes in the country. The committee is named the Renewed Hope Livestock Reform Implementation Committee. Let's now join State House correspondent Musbah Odan-Wahab, who is joining us for an update. Hello, Musbah. What can you tell us about this committee?
All right, thank you so much, Ogochukwu. This it's about finding a local solution to a local problem. Apparently, President Bola Tinubu has been observing from outside, even before becoming the president, how the farmers and herders have been clashing for years, and that particularly becoming more intense since 1999. And this has been a major issue for the country. With successive governments, administrations trying to find solutions to this particular issue. And now during the elections, President Bola Tinubu made some campaign promises, and one of them is these farmer-herder clashes that we have been having in the country, and he promised that he has been developing a blueprint towards serving this particular program. Last year, a committee was set up headed by former Governor of Kano State, Umar Ganduje, to look for how to solve this problem. Now, that committee has come up with some reforms to be implemented. Now, this is the committee to implement those reforms, the recommendations or reforms to be done in order to solve those issues. This is a major assignment for the committee, now titled Renewed Hope Livestock Implementation, Livestock Reforms Information Committee. Livestock, I beg your pardon, Livestock Reform Implementation Committee. So this committee now is been given a new vigor to show the seriousness. The president has offered to be the chairman of this committee and to be co-chaired by former chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Tahiru Jega, who will superintend over the committee in the absence of President Bola Tinubu. Now, that shows you how important this assignment is. And President Bola Tinubu is believing that the solution that Nigerians have been looking for is near for the farmer-herders clash in the country. Now, let's take a bit of this committee, the composition of the committee members. It cuts across various sectors, people coming from the academia, professors and experts in this particular field, and they are going to work together to solve the issue. And apart from that, the committee is also looking towards developing this sector, taking opportunity from this challenge. The president is known for looking for opportunities where challenges are. And now, apart from that, a ministry, a new committee has been set up called the Livestock Development Ministry, Federal Ministry of Livestock Development. And the ministry is expected to also supervise the activities of this committee as well.
Thank you very much, Musbah. We believe we'll get more updates as events unfold. But for now, thank you very much for that very, very wonderful update. Okay, now about 37 contractors handling the Renewed Hope Road Intervention projects have been warned to mobilize and speed up works to meet up with deadlines or face contract termination. Minister of Works David Umahi gave this warning at a meeting with some contractors in Abuja. Abdullahi Mohammed reports.
Barely 1 week after the coffins of some contracts for the dualization of Obaja-Benin Highway were nailed, the hammers seem to be up again. This time, it's against some contractors who are lagging behind in the execution of the 260 critical roads being rehabilitated by the Renewed Hope movement. And now they have a tight deadline upon which they are expected to deliver or face the consequences.
The rule is that emergency projects, you go and they do it, 100%, and then you submit your papers, we now pay you 80% and send your documents to PPP. People are suffering. The president is having sleepless night how to help the people. And then we give people jobs and they are telling us stories. There have been jobs awarded by this ministry in the past, money paid, then the contractors help the money. Oh, there is insecurity.
Just as the Minister of Works stepped out of the meeting, an elder statesman in the company of a representative of the people came knocking.
We visited him to deliver a message from the executive governor of Kebbi State on the issue of Zuru Dabai Koko Road. The minister said we should give him 5 to 7 days. Inshallah, he will treat the letter with urgency and he will terminate the contract of that road.
Kebbi State is to benefit more than 250 kilometers of the Sokoto-Badagry highway to be constructed by the Renewed Hope movement. In Abuja, Abdullahi Mohammed, NTA News.
The Senate is working on a legislation that makes provision for the payment of compensation to victims of violence in Nigeria. A bill to repeal and enact the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act, sponsored by Senator Issa Jibrin, highlights the need to create a victim support fund to cater to victims of violence and to make more stringent punishment for offenders.
There are instances where mental element is not needed, but only the physical element, which is all that is required to complete the offense. This therefore calls for a review to introduce elements of intention.
The idea of carnal knowledge of a minor, our consent in most jurisdictions is immaterial. Even in Nigeria, the penal code also states that consent is immaterial because, like Senator Mongunu said, she may give consent, but she's not mature enough to understand what she's doing.
The bill has passed second reading and refers to Senate Committee on Justice, Human Rights and Legal Matters for further legislative action. Senate has adopted a motion urging government to address food insecurity and market exploitation of consumers in Nigeria. Senate during plenary confirmed the appointment of Dr. Matthew Olumide Adepoju as the Director General of the National Space Research and Development Agency, NASA, as requested by President Bola Tinubu. And now the House of Representatives has asked the federal government to suspend implementation of the Samoa Agreement it signed with the European Union to boost food security and economic development. Adopting a motion sponsored by Deputy Minority Leader Aliyu Madaki and 88 other lawmakers, the House notes that Article 97 of the agreement, which states that no other treaty can impede implementation of the agreement, is a supremacy clause that violates Nigeria's sovereignty.
Also worried that the phrase gender equality, as reported, is a Trojan horse for deceptively bringing in all sorts of immorality to our country, as gender no longer means sexes, male and female, as traditionally understood.
Ministers have come out, including information, budget and planning, in public to say There was nothing like that in the agreement. Go and Google your media. You will see the agreement, you will see it there. That it was never mentioned, it was never discussed. There is nothing like lesbian rights or gay rights. It is about human rights, environmental protection, and trade agreements, period.
What the executive has told Nigerians is actually the true position of the facts. That's all we're asking for. At this stage, we are not condemning or accepting whether LGBT is in the contract or not. But we want to know, we want to confirm, and we want to affirm.
And to address the resurgence of fear cues in parts of the country, the House mandated its committees on petroleum resources, downstream and mainstream, to carry out a legislative forensic investigation into depletion of fuel stock for domestic consumption.
The House is also disturbed about the allegation of the return of subsidy on downstream PMS products, unclarity about the exact landing cost of PMS, reduction in retail price, and its impact on downstream operations, allegation of importation of substandard products, and high sulfur diesel into Nigeria.
In the meantime, the House of Representatives has warned educational institutions against unappropriated spendings. The House Committee on University Education gave the warning during an oversight visit to the National Open University of Nigeria. National Assembly correspondent Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports.
It is an oversight period where National Assembly members exercise their constitutional powers of check and balance. This time around, the House Committee on University Education was at the National Open University, NOUN, to interface with the university's management on programs and projects of the institution, and more especially revenue collections.
In the November 2023 performance report, which is submitted during budget defense. So I wonder why they are missing. It's like you don't want to declare them or what?
In the IGR for 2022, I saw a curious item, rentage of halls through guest house, Kaduna, 530,000 naira. Is it for a single event or the entire year?
Any money so expended without appropriation is an illegality. At any level, it's a serious infraction. So we have not seen a single submission by this institution to legitimize the expenditure of internally generated revenue.
Not taking it away that what the members have seen are incorrect or that they are wrong. I'm just saying that some of the explanations that we probably will have given are not there, perhaps because of the nature of the reporting style that we have used.
The committee assured universities of their support to achieving greater standards. In Abuja, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
And still talking education, in trying to achieve the United Nations target of inclusive education by 2030, the federal government is working hard to overcome challenges standing in the way of meeting the goal. One of such is involving the private sector in the implementation of the Universal Basic Education Program. Hingino John Adams tells us more.
Data from the United Nations shows that years of underinvestment in education globally will produce about 84 million out-of-school children, while about 300 million will not be able to leave school by 2030. This is a clear departure from the Sustainable Development Goal 4, which centers around giving equal access to education for all. The federal government is collaborating with the organized private sector to ensure that 100% of school-aged children complete basic education armed with literacy, numeracy, and basic life skills that can aid their contribution to national development.
While government is doing its bit to support states and local governments in the area of basic education, it's also important for the private sector to see how it could get involved.
What new ideas are the private sector bringing? What is the need for private sector? And what is the sustainability agenda?
Investing in children's future through providing quality education, key players believe will empower them to become useful citizens.
We have the DOTS policy to encourage and promote qualitative learning and teaching for all Nigerian children.
We need the expertise and the resources of the organized private sector, either through investment, direct investment, or through corporate social responsibilities to help us fill the gap.
It is believed that Nigeria will soon overcome the challenge of out-of-school children in the country. In Lagos, Hinginu John Adams, NTA News.
The Vice-Chancellor, National Open University of Nigeria, Professor Femi Peters, has cleared the air on the assumption that students of the institution cannot benefit from the students' loan. Professor Peters said it was misrepresentation, which has now been corrected. The Vice-Chancellor was speaking during a meeting with the institution's board members.
Our students are now going to enjoy the loan system. They have since resolved it now. So I think our students will enjoy that.
In terms of reaching out to wherever we can to make sure that our own National Open University is adequately funded.
Promised not to interfere in the affairs of the institution outside the mandate of the council, adding that the council would work to uplift the standard of the institution for international best practices. He, however, solicited the support and contribution of staff and students of the institution to enable his team to succeed. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, says it is compulsory for all candidates applying to study programs in tertiary institutions in Nigeria to use National Identification Number, NIN, for registration. Registrar of JAMB, Professor Ishak Oloyede, in a statement, said this was part of measures to checkmate the nefarious activities of fraudulent characters scheming to compromise candidates' records through dubious registration channels. He, however, directed that all prospective candidates in the non-regular category, including National Open University of Nigeria, distance learning, part-time and sandwich programs must, through the use of NIN, create a profile code before registering with JAMB. Now, the Nigeria Export Processing Zones Authority says it has generated 6 billion naira revenue as of June 2024 and is poised to doing more. Bosede Abel Amosu reports that this was as the House of Representatives Committee on Commerce and paid an oversight visit to the authority. Challenges bordering on outdated legal framework, conflict within agencies in the free trade zones and dormant zones were brought to the table.
Free trade zone scheme that we manage and regulate is a handshake between the Nigerian people and people, investors who have brought their money from abroad, mostly, some are Nigerians, to invest in Nigeria. And we give them incentives and we expect certain returns from them. So we don't just support, we also regulate.
The lawmakers promised a review of the legislation establishing the authority with a view to enabling effective service delivery.
The urgency and the speed that you need to reposition this agency is now. The commerce and industry sector is the secret sauce to ensuring that inflation is tackled, unemployment is brought to the barest minimum, you can make it to security, etc., etc., etc.
Lagos residents who plan to engage in panic buying do not have to worry again, as most filling stations that shut their gates to motorists on Monday, 8th of July, have now reopened and operating fully. Diana Ajale, who monitored the situation in Lagos, reports.
Long queues experienced on Monday is fast disappearing. Road users, however, which feel scarcity never return to the city anymore to enable them get the commodity unhindered. While some motorists are mistaking the queue for petrol scarcity, others attributed the situation to panic buying.
Load, it's on the masses already. We are pleading to the government to at least ease the things for the masses.
There is no scarcity of fuel. It's available, but getting it out and taking it to the stations was the problem.
Motorists, however, appealed to government to put in more efforts at ensuring hitch-free supply of petroleum products across the country, as this will go a long way in ensuring economic stability. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
The federal government's commitment to ensure development in the oil-rich Niger Delta, which accounts for the nation's economic fortunes, has been a continuous one. However, challenges which are environmental and infrastructural in nature are said to be the major issues confronting the region, which has necessitated calls from stakeholders to pay attention. Now, before we join Robinson Daretede, let's take this background report from Jenny Bassi.
The Niger Delta region is known for its numerous contributions to the nation's economy, owing to the abundant natural resources available in the region. However, the oil-rich region has over the years witnessed several challenges, especially in the area of environmental degradation. Other challenges, such as environmental and air pollution, as well as flooding, has resulted in the relocation of residents, especially those in the riverine areas, exposing them to health hazard, including cholera.
Of the wave, no way to go river, so now they do prevention. They take manage.
We've been witnessing a seasonal flood, and it has led to serious erosion, washing away the artifact on this road.
To ameliorate the plight of people, the federal government has taken several steps, including the establishment of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, which is in charge of carrying out projects that will meet the needs of the people. While the people appreciate the efforts of the federal government, particularly the present administration, in meeting the needs of the people of the Niger Delta region, they are appealing to the federal government to intensify effort towards the completion of the East-West Road, which is a major road connecting over 6 South-South states.
We have been suffering here since rain started this year. Sometimes we sleep here 4 days, sometimes we sleep 2 days.
As major stakeholders prepare to engage in strategic dialogue, it is hoped that the basic issues affecting the region will receive adequate attention.
You recall that the ministry was established in 2008 as a vehicle to drive federal government's initiatives in the Niger Delta region through the formulation of policies and programs for the overall development of the region.
The people are also hopeful that the implementation of outcome of the dialogue will be the watchword. Jenny Bassi, NTA News.
Thank you very much, Jenny. And now joining us live is Robinson Daretede. Yes, I can see him. Robinson, can you explain how critical and important this region is to Nigeria's economy? And what is the nature of these challenges that are generating agitations? And of course, how is the government addressing these challenges to bring about development in the region?
You all know that the Nigerian economy is an oil-based economy. And the bulk of the oil, if not 100%, is actually from the Niger Delta region. So the Niger Delta region is a strategic region to the nation's economy. And of course, due to this, a lot of issues had happened in the past, and even government has come up with several interventionist agencies like the OMPADEC, the NDDC, the Niger Delta Ministry, Amnesty, and even of recent, the IPREP, which is the Ogoni Cleanup Project. So all of this is actually to ensure that the Niger Delta is developed. But the major concern is that all of these intervention agencies have not actually addressed the major yearning of the people, which is infrastructural development and also, if possible, the general cleanup of the polluted areas in the Niger Delta. Environmental degradation still remains there. Air pollution, the pollution of the water are still there. So what people are hearing for now is that government should take drastic action in ensuring that the Niger Delta is developed in terms of infrastructure, and also to have a deliberate effort in ensuring that jobs are created for the youths of the Niger Delta. So the major stakeholders meeting that NDDC is calling off, they believe will provide this platform for all the stakeholders to discuss how these issues will be addressed and also to ensure that they are implemented.
Been a long-standing agitation over the years. It's been agitation, appeals and appeals. So in the course of carrying out these assignments, did you speak with any government official to get what it is planning to do next in this regard?
Yes, the NDDC is an agency of government that already called for a... What's going on?
Go ahead, we can hear you. Oh, it's like we're having a connection problem there with Robinson directly there. Okay, can you hear me, Robinson? I was asking what the government is saying in this regard as the people keep agitating. It's been one issue for a very long time.
The government, no doubt, is trying its best. But the major concern now of the people is that government should have a strong supervisory, should play a strong supervisory role in ensuring that these intervention agencies implement the projects to later, because there is so much complaint about poor projects of some of these interventionist agencies. And also government is saying that the region itself, the state governments in the region,
we seem to be having network challenges, but Robinson was just telling us that supervision of this what the government is doing. All right, we go now to the president, who is extending his best wishes and congratulations to renowned Islamic leader Sheikh Dahiru Usman Bauchi on attaining the milestone age of 100. President Tinubu describes Sheikh Dahiru Bauchi as a shining light who has significantly contributed to shaping Islamic knowledge as well as moral and ethical standards in modern Nigeria. The president thanks the Tijaniya leader for dedicating his life to spreading knowledge and raising generations of Nigerians on this. And on this momentous occasion, President Tinubu prays for greater wisdom and good health for the venerable Sheikh. All right, we'll now be joining Mary in Jos for the next set of reports. Yes.
Many thanks for joining us in our Jos studio. The Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa is assuring the people of Plateau State of his commitment to ensuring lasting peace for meaningful development in the state. He gave the assurance during a visit to Governor Caleb Mutfwang at the Government House in Jos. Ijama Ozemena has details.
The Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa, accompanied by other senior military officers, expressed appreciation to the state government for making the state conducive for security forces to carry out their statutory mandate, urging him to sustain it. He assures the people of Plateau State that security forces are fully committed to ensuring that lasting peace returns to the state for meaningful development.
I want to thank you, Musa, for showing that leadership, being committed, dedicated to ensuring that everyone is carried along. I think that is very, very critical.
Governor Caleb Mutfwang expressed gratitude to the Chief of Defense Staff and other security forces for their commitment to peace in various states of the nation, particularly Plateau State.
The Nigerian military in general has lived a legacy of successful interventions globally. And in the last decade or two, they've had to turn their attention back inwards to be able to ensure that those who threaten our survival as a nation do not succeed. And particularly, the efforts they have put in making sure that Plateau State particularly is peaceful, is secure.
The governor restates his desire to continue to collaborate with all security forces to enable them perform their duties optimally. In Jos, Ijoma Ozemena, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, has inaugurated some projects at the Maxwell Kobe cantonment of the 3 Division headquarters in Jos. Again, Ijoma Ozemena has the details.
That is the official inauguration of 2,000-seater 3-division sports pavilion and helicopters by the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, as part of activities marking the Nigerian Army Day celebration. Also inaugurated are newly constructed 2 blocks of 30 flats at Phase 2, RSM House, remodeled headquarters Quarter Guard, unveiling of electronic board and Maxwell Kobe sculpture, as well as Rhino House. The inauguration of this project follows the commitment to having a highly trained, equipped and professional personnel to effectively maintain peace, stability and protect territorial integrity of the country.
Once they know that their families have the best at home and in their barracks and cantonment, then they'll be undistracted and focused on the task in the front line.
Earlier, a golf tournament tee-off was performed by former Chief of Policy and Plans, Lieutenant General Lamidi Adeoshun, retired at the Rhino Golf Course.
This tournament is one of such events that keep us fit. Even those that are on retirement, you see, almost everybody is on the golf course.
We are also in solidarity with them and to continue to pray that God Almighty will continue to give them strength so that they can protect us very well.
In Jos, Ijoma Ozemena, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Jos Nationwide. We'll continue in our Abuja studio with Ugochukwuka, but after this break.
You're still watching the news at 4. The Kogi State government has taken a step to fortify its security architecture by engaging 105 local hunters. This initiative reflects the government's commitment to combating insecurity and ensuring the safety of its citizens. Solomon Aede reports.
This move aims to address the threats of banditry and kidnapping that have disrupted the peace in Kogi State. By incorporating local hunters into the security framework, the government seeks to enhance its efforts in tackling these crimes. The hunters will collaborate with conventional security agents to eliminate criminal activities and restore order.
Our faith in the people-led security approach as a new strategy is a clear manifestation of our determination to recalibrate our security architecture.
Local hunters and vigilantes have long been integral to community policing and rescue operations in the region. However, under the administration of Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo, these hunters have now been armed and equipped with security gadgets, enhancing their effectiveness.
We are giving them helmets of level 4, ballistic of level 4. So the government is working with the insurance company to provide all of them life insurance.
The rationale behind this initiative is clear. Criminal elements often reside within the communities they terrorize. Thus, the local hunters, with their knowledge of the terrain and the people, are crucial in identifying and neutralizing these threats.
With this, it will go a long way to make the citizens of the state to be able to close their eyes and sleep comfortably.
Kogi State is setting a precedent in the fight against insecurity. This initiative promises to bring lasting peace and pave the way for development. In Lokoja, Solomon Ayedehi, NTA News.
We're now being joined by Solomon Ayede in Lokoja for an update of the efforts of government in strengthening security in the state through engaging vigilantes. Now, Solomon, what is the criteria used in selecting these vigilantes, and what exactly is the state government equipping them with? I heard one of the respondents there saying they are given helmets. What more are they being equipped with to work?
Come to Lokoja. I want to believe that security is a serious business, and for any state or nationality to succeed in the fight against insecurity, they must engage the best of the best in terms of personnel. And so that is why Kogi State government has invested so much in ensuring that the best of the members of the hunters is recruited for this job. They leverage traditional rulers, community leaders, and even women leaders to get vital information about most of the members of the hunters before the DSS take over the challenge of getting the best for the state. So I want to believe that the criteria is not far-fetched. Integrity, professionalism, and of course, dedication to duty must have encouraged the government to select those of them that were lucky to be selected. And talking about the incentive that the government has provided, apart from the physical items such as helmets, boots, raincoat, and even torchlight that will enable them to navigate easily in the forest, government has prioritized their welfare in terms of their take-home at the end of the month. And above that is the issue of life insurance. And of course, it has given them the assurance that government is with them and government is actually catering for them. And that will enable them to put in their best in the cause and ensure that they achieve their mandate.
All right, Solomon, we equally understand that crime is local. It is local. So how has the local community reacted to the government's decision to engage 105 local hunters for security purposes? And are there any specific areas in Kogi State that will benefit mostly from this security initiative?
Crime and criminality, as far as security experts are concerned, is localized, and as such, you need locals to be able to tackle it, and that is why government has committed enough energy in recruiting these vigilantes. And if you know that the terrain of Kogi State is one of the difficult terrain in Nigeria, and the topography itself. Kogi State borders about 10 states, including the FCT. And on daily basis, people traverse the state from the north, from the south. And this has made it difficult for local policing. Apart from that, the terrain itself, we have some areas, we have forests, we have mountains, and we have other areas that are not accessible. And this also is not making it easy for the conventional security agencies. And that is why the state government has thought it wise to engage the hunters. And this is helping seriously because about 2 weeks ago, Kostek Oshara was attacked by bandits. And it was the effort of the local hunters, vigilantes, and police constabularies that assisted the conventional security agents in the arrest of the situation. 29 out of 31 of the students were rescued, while 2 lost their lives. So they have been efficient because the government has, before now.
Thank you very much, Solomon. You still have a lot to say, but thank you very much for want of time. And we hope this initiative yields the desired results. The Joint Planning Committee for the 30th Nigerian Economic Summit has been inaugurated with a call to action for the federal government to leverage outcomes of the 29th summit to inform government plans and programs. The committee, comprising representatives from the Nigerian Economic Summit Group and the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning, is tasked with ensuring a successful summit that drives economic growth and development in Nigeria.
The theme of this year's conference is actually collaborative action for growth, competitiveness and stability, which continues with our theme of trying to partner with government to drive economic growth. We just feel that that is most appropriate at this time as we try and develop an economy that is competitive with the potential to expand into the African continent with the Continental Free Trade Agreement.
The key outcomes of the annual summits have always played important roles in shaping the policies of government. In particular, the summit had in the past contributed to entrenching the culture of development planning in the country.
30th Nigerian Economic Summit is expected to build on the progress made in previous editions, bringing together stakeholders from various sectors to share insights and ideas on how to address the country's economic challenges. We'll now be going over to Maiduguri, and Ladidi Musa is our guide with more reports.
To Maiduguri, glad to have you join us. Embracing the timeless adage, an idle mind is the devil's workshop, the Borno State government has taken proactive measures to empower repentant insurgents with diverse livelihood skills, fostering a pathway to rehabilitation and reintegration into society. These initiatives aim to foster self-sufficiency and deter their recruitment by the insurgents group. Mohammed Gune reports that this achievement is recorded through the implementation of the Borno model of reintegration, a non-kinetic approach.
Mohammed Goni, one of the 560 minors and low-risk repentant armed groups, was abducted at the age of 5 and spent 13 years in captivity, enduring the hardships inflicted by the insurgents. He has since been trained as a tailor under the Disarmament, Demobilization, De-radicalization, Rehabilitation, Reconciliation and Reintegration Program, and expresses that repentance has granted him freedom. Since its introduction on July 5, 2021, the Borno model of reintegration and inclusive peace-building approach has seen notable success, with increasing number of insurgents surrendering and repenting across the state.
Those who return, usually they are given Quran to swear at the point of entry and at the point of exit.
With the kind of mental health and psychosocial support we have given them, there is no woman here that will agree to be used as a guinea pig to execute any kind of suicide bombing.
Each one of them will be supported. They'll be given starter pack and they'll be supported to go and continue with their skill that they've acquired.
The repentant insurgents, having sworn onto the Quran to become responsible citizens, have pledged to engage in lawful and productive activities while prioritizing security consciousness. Those trained in tailoring were given clothes to sew for those children to celebrate the 3rd anniversary of Borno model. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
Libraries have been fundamental to knowledge and learning for centuries. However, with the rise of digital technology, the frequency of visit by people and students to both public and school libraries for research, reading, and assignment has diminished. Informed Tamamza seeks to know the strength. The report is hereby presented.
Many libraries have embraced technology, offering digital catalogs, e-books, and online databases, thereby integrating traditional and modern methods of accessing information. Despite the wealth of digital resources available, some materials are best accessed in physical form, making libraries invaluable within their extensive collections of books, journals, and rare documents that may not be available online. A visit to a library at a higher institution in Maiduguri revealed no student presence, particularly amidst ongoing examinations in the school, where the deputy librarian, Hawa Mohammed, made no effort to emphasizing and orientating the students on the needs to use the libraries for research and references.
This is an academic library. It is existing in an academic environment
So there's a need for them to come to the library. Even instructing lecturers now, telling them to come to the library all the time to reference their work.
At the Borno State Library, students and researchers were observed utilizing its resources, with some acknowledging the library's importance over funds for its conducive study environment, free from noise and distractions. Adamu Abdullahi, the acting state librarian, has this to say.
The participation has decreased because of the internet. That is why the Honorable Commissioner is making all effort to see that the internet here has been revived for the people to make use of it.
Undoubtedly, technological advancements provide unparalleled access to information at one's convenience. Yet, libraries continue to offer a vital and conducive environment for study and research, complementing digital tools and enriching learning experiences in the digital age. In Maiduguri, Pauline Kujevana, NTA News.
That does it from the Home of Peace. Nationwide continues with Okojikuka in Abuja. After this timeout, stay with us.
And on the last lap is sports update.
In basketball, as Nigeria's women's basketball team, the D Tigers, intensified their preparations in Germany ahead of the Olympic Games in Paris, preparations have been concluded by the Nigerian Basketball Federation for the team to engage in 2 international friendly matches before the commencement of the Olympic Games. The Nigerian girls will play warm-up games against Germany and Puerto Rico. The first test game comes up on July 19 against Germany at the Uber Arena in Berlin during the basketball festival. The team would later take on Puerto Rico on July 21 in France. The D Tigers are hoping for a better outing at the Olympic Games, which begins with getting past the group stage this time around, unlike the previous Olympic Games. Still talking basketball, the Nigerian Basketball Federation has invited 25 players to the training camp in Port Harcourt, commencing Tuesday, July 9, 2024, in preparation for the FIBA Under-18 qualifying tournament in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire, from July 29 to August 4. The camp, being coordinated by veteran youth coach Fubara Humphrey, has 19 home-based players and 6 US-based players. On the list amongst the home-based players are Basi Egbo F. Young, Ibrahim Boyce Hart, and Ikechukwu Divine Chinazom. The US-based players include Favor Ibe, Eton Mboko, David Ngona. To football, Tani, the official mascot of the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup, has been unveiled ahead of the first FIFA tournament to be staged in the Dominican Republic. The mascot name was inspired by the Taino people indigenous to the Caribbean island and merged with the name Ana, which is the Taino language translated as flower. The use of the flower signifies the natural beauty of the country and also the blossom natural talent and spirit of the players. The mascot will be seen at the games in the 2 cities, the capital Santiago Domingo at the Felix Sanchez Stadium and in Santiago de las Celebes at the CFC Stadium. The Flamingos will represent the country at the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup in Dominican Republic. Sports Update, Gift George, NTA News.
Thank you very much, Gift, and that's Nationwide today. On behalf of the production crew in Abuja and all the contributing states, thank you so much for watching. I am Ogoj Kuka. Ona.